Guys, for 10 points, do you want to make a guess as to what this is? This is actually frankincense. Now, I did not go along the incense trail to the Middle East to get these. I bought these from the duty free at Doha airport. I'm no expert, but the packaging did say that the country of origin is Ethiopia. Ethiopia supposedly makes some of the best frankincense in the world. It's mostly used as incense, and some traditional medicine is supposed to be good for your skin. I don't know. But this is basically the dried sap of the boswellia tree. The way they harvest this is by putting a bunch of scratches onto the tree trunk, and this liquid sap oozes out, and it hardens to these small pieces of resin called frankincense. By itself, it does have a smell very mild. I would describe this probably as woody and musty. It is a very characteristic smell, like frankincense. If you ever been to a church service where they burn incense, you would know what I'm talking about. But the smell really comes out when you heat and burn these things. In fact, I've never tried that before. One moment, please. Okay, so I don't have an incense burner, so I'm using a spoon. In India, we have something of this sort. We call it dhuna. And the way we burn these is by putting it on a smoldering piece of coal. Again, it's used for religious ceremonies. But the smell is completely different, by the way. Oh yeah. Okay, first of all, the smell is completely different compared to what we have in its solid form. I'm getting notes of vanilla. And again, it's a woody, musty smell, but a lot stronger. Honestly, it's very hard to describe. It's very hard to describe what the smell is like if you haven't smelled it. Now, coming back to the project at hand, I learned that these are supposed to be very good for your skin, and they use it as such in the Middle East. So I was supposed to make my next batch of bar soap, and I decided to use an infusion of this into the mixture. The way I did that is by weighing out about 20 grams of this stuff and then grinding it as well as I could manually with a pestle mortar. It's a little difficult to grind, by the way, very good because it's sticky and it doesn't really break into pieces all that well. But when I thought it's small, when I thought that the pieces are small enough, I soaked them in water for 48 hours, soaked them in about 100 mils of water, and I got a resulting solution which I finally filtered out in a tea strainer, and the resulting liquid was brown in color, of course, but it did have a lot of that fruity, musty and woody smell in it. So I'm guessing there was a significant amount of the essential oil and the boswellic acid, some of the ingredients of this resin, which is supposed to be good for you, actually went into the liquid. The soap making process was pretty standard. I used, I believe, a 50-50 mixture of coconut oil and sunflower oil, totally making out about 500 milliliter of fat. And I calculated the amount of sodium hydroxide lye that I required. I used a soap calculator, by the way, and I believe it came out to be something around 74-ish, along with the 5% superfat. But yeah, I made the lye solution, and then I mixed it with the fat. I gave it a swirl for about half an hour, and eventually it did reach a very light trace, and that is exactly when I decided to add the infusion of frankincense into the mix. And then I obviously used a standard soap mold, and while I was demolding it 48 hours later, this is what it looks like. So it has been about 2 months since I made the soap, and I did have the opportunity to try it out. Now, does the frankincense infusion do it any good? My skin does appear to be a little healthy. Again, it's not a random double-blind study or anything. It could be just a placebo effect, but I really like this soap, frankly speaking. It does have a, yeah, it definitely does have a smell of frankincense. It's a very mild smell, which is actually very pleasing. But having said that, I really look forward to using it more often. And again, guys, thanks so much for joining me in this video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.